Welcome back to XFO Intelligence Podcast, the show where cutting-edge financial innovation meets strategic wealth management. Today we're diving into what might be the most significant transformation in wealth management since the digital revolution began.
That's right. Today, we're exploring real-world asset tokenization, or RWA tokenization, and specifically how this paradigm shift is reshaping the landscape for family offices worldwide. Our team at XFO Intelligence has just released comprehensive research on this topic using our proprietary deep augmented thinking methodology.
Let's start with the fundamentals. When we talk about RWA tokenization, we're essentially discussing the conversion of traditional physical assets, real estate, fine art, infrastructure projects, even intellectual property, into digital tokens on blockchain networks. But this isn't just digitization for its own sake, is it?
Exactly. Our deep augmented thinking analysis reveals this is a fundamental paradigm shift that addresses some of the most persistent challenges family offices have faced for generations. We're talking about the age-old problem of illiquidity in alternative assets. Imagine being able to convert that Manhattan commercial property or that Picasso painting into a divisible, tradable digital asset without having to sell the entire holding.
That's transformative. Our research shows the market is projected to reach $10 to $16 trillion by 2030. But what really caught my attention in our analysis was the five-dimensional value creation model. Can you walk our listeners through that?
Absolutely. First, we have liquidity transformation, converting dormant capital into fluid, divisible resources. Second, portfolio diversification 2.0, accessing previously impossible asset classes with precision. Third, operational alpha generation through smart contract automation. Fourth, unprecedented transparency and security through immutable blockchain records. And fifth, future-proofed succession planning with programmable digital assets.
The succession planning aspect is particularly compelling for multi-generational wealth preservation. But I know our listeners are thinking about implementation. This sounds complex and potentially risky.
That's why our team developed a 4-phase strategic implementation framework. We recommend starting with what we call discovery and environmental mapping, allocating just half to 1% of assets under management for small-scale investments across diverse RWA types. This isn't for returns initially, but for data acquisition on yields, liquidity, and regulatory handling.
So it's about learning before scaling. That makes sense from a risk management perspective. What comes next in the framework?
Phase 2 is validation and capital reinforcement, doubling down on what works based on your Phase 1 data. Then full integration, where successful RWA strategies become core portfolio components. Finally, evolution and continuous adaptation to ensure the strategy remains resilient and forward-looking.
Now, we can't discuss this topic without addressing the elephant in the room: regulation. The landscape is still evolving, isn't it?
Precisely. Our analysis identifies regulatory compliance as a critical risk factor. But here's the key insight from our deep augmented thinking approach. Treat regulation not as a barrier, but as a filter. Focus on jurisdictions with clear frameworks, like the EU under MiCA or certain progressive U.S. states. Regulatory clarity should be a primary investment filter.
That's excellent advice. And speaking of jurisdictions, we're seeing some fascinating developments in rising family office hubs for RWA tokenization, particularly in Dubai and Hong Kong. We'll be exploring these emerging centers and their regulatory approaches in future episodes of the podcast.
Absolutely. The geographic distribution of RWA innovation is creating new opportunities for family offices to optimize their strategies. As we wrap up today's discussion, what's your key takeaway for family offices listening?
The tokenization of real-world assets represents a foundational shift, from analog, intermediated record-keeping to digital, programmable, direct ownership. Family offices that embrace this transformation with a disciplined, phased approach will secure significant and enduring advantages in multi-generational wealth preservation and growth.
Powerful insights. For our family office listeners who want to dive deeper, XFO Intelligence has released a comprehensive, deep augmented thinking report on this topic. You can request your copy by emailing xfointelligence@gmail.com.
Thank you for joining us on XFO Intelligence Podcast. Until next time, keep innovating, keep strategizing, and keep building generational wealth.
This has been XFO Intelligence Podcast, where the future of wealth management unfolds.